I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the official court documents from Carmelo Anthony's arraignment last Friday. Not only have they not come, but there has been a letter from the court that indicates no documents have been filed into the Carmelo Anthony case as of the hearing on 7/18/2025. You can view the events of the case by going blah, 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 blah. So the records department has said there's no new records, but he would have pled guilty, not guilty, or no contest on Friday. He would have entered a plea. There's also no update on the records that would indicate that the meeting was canceled, that the arraignment didn't happen. So based on everything I can publicly see and can retrieve through my sources in Texas, mainly Sarah Fields, is there's no reason to believe that that arraignment didn't happen. There's no reason to believe that Carmelo Anthony did not enter a plea. Obviously, I think it's safe to assume that he entered a not guilty plea, but I don't know. And why is there no records almost a week later? Something's very fishy. We also have some more information on Carmelo Anthony's dad's open arrest warrant and other interesting information to go over with you today. So make sure you leave a like on the video if you haven't yet. Subscribe or follow down below to never miss an update. By the way, new summer flavors just dropped on coffeebrandcoffee.com. These are our two best flavors I've ever made. Seriously. Tiger's Blood is something you absolutely have to try. It's strawberry, coconut, watermelon, as well as our blackberry cream. We reformulated our blackberry cream from last year, so it's even more flavor. Both of these, ridiculous as cold brew this summer. It's 100 degrees today in Wisconsin, but also as a warm coffee. I think these are going to sell much better than our blackberry or than our blueberry Calvert. Promo code SUMMER10 at coffeebrandcoffee.com will get you 10% off, and they are limited time only. All right, so a couple of new Carmelo Anthony updates. First, we have received a more detailed response to our open records request from the 19th Judicial Court regarding Carmelo Anthony's father, Drew Anthony, and his criminal background. According to a prior report, he currently has an active warrant in Louisiana for traffic violations. Now, again, an active warrant, means, he might have just forgot his court date. He moved to Texas and forgot about it. But there's also other interesting stuff that everybody gets parking tickets or speeding tickets or something. Like having a traffic violation doesn't make you a bad person. Okay. Not going to your court date doesn't even necessarily make you a bad person. It can make you a forgetful person. Sometimes these things are scheduled out, 18 months after the incident. It's easy to forget. Sometimes I think they do that stuff on purpose. However, he has had his license suspended for, I think, almost 15 years, 10 years or something like that. And as far as I know, he's driving in Texas, which is illegal. So he either lied to the Texas state government and got a driver's license there, or he's driving without a license. So that might be something local PD might want to look into. Additionally, in 2017, Drew Anthony, Carmelo's dad, was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol and controlled substances. This is new information. DUI, again, I live in Wisconsin. That's a sport here. I think that, driving under the influence is bad. Okay. It's bad. Not just because you put your own life at risk, even less so really, but because you put other people's lives at risk. A lot of people have done it. I've done it regrettably in the past. As I've gotten older, become a little more responsible. Now that Uber and Lyft go out to the countryside, it's a lot easier for me to just get a $30 Uber than risk a $750 OWI ticket. That's the best case scenario, is just getting a ticket. Obviously, again, people make mistakes. This is not a arrest for like beating somebody up or, so separately, okay, he had improper equipment, which could be missing a headlight or something like that. Then he had a DUI, also not good. It would have been from 2017, so he was old enough to know better. But then he also has a felony theft charge from 2013. So any one of these individually, outside of the felony theft charge, you got a DUI, big whoop. You got a parking or you had a taillight out. You didn't, whatever, you got a court date for that. I don't know exactly what improper equipment would necessitate. Let's look actually. What is an improper equipment ticket? It's a non-moving traffic violation issued when a vehicle's equipment does not meet legal standards. It's often given for issues like a broken taillight or a malfunctioning speedometer or an improper muffler. Lord knows I've had noise muffler tickets in my past too. So the only thing I really is concerning is the felony theft ticket. I'd like to know more about that. Secondly, according to the district clerk's office in Collin County, 0 documents have been filed in the case. This is the Karmelo case as of the arraignment hearing held Friday, July 18th. So I'm recording this on Wednesday, July 23rd. Okay, so maybe you say, okay, Friday, I don't know, maybe they didn't get them updated. But all day Monday, all day Tuesday, it's now almost noon on Wednesday, and there's nothing. I suspect, as far as I know, this hearing happened, okay? And he probably pled not guilty. That's based on, everything we know, everything that it makes logical sense here. But why is there no new documents from this? Why are they covering this stuff up? Are they trying to stop the news cycle? I don't know. Is it just, hey, we're a small town? I don't know, because historically, all other documents came out within about 48 hours. This says, this is highly unusual, and I am working to get to the bottom of it. Was a plea not even entered? Did he not plead guilty, not guilty, no contest? Are they working on some sort of plea deal? I don't know I don't know what this means. Thank you for your patience in this matter. I only report on this case when new documents or information come to light. When I have new information, I typically release it on the same day. And you see, here is the stuff on Drew Anthony operating a vehicle while intoxicated, first offense. Again, DUI. Look, you didn't rob somebody. It's stupid. It's irresponsible. It's not good. I don't condone it. Whatever. Now, this one is more curious. I'd like to know more about this case. This is his felony case, theft of an item between $500 and $1,500. This says, on or about August 22nd, 2013, the defendant committed a theft of money. So he stole cash having a value of $500 or more, but less than $1,500, contrary to the state law of Louisiana and against the peace and dignity of the same. So he stole cash. This is not something a normal adult would do. Stealing $500 plus, might have been $1,499. Where did he steal the cash? Probably his place of work, I'm guessing. I don't know that answer for a fact. Here you also have another case. This is the traffic violation. Again, this is not a big deal. But what's interesting is all the way back in 2019, so that's 6 years ago, he had forfeited his driver's license. So as of right now, I don't know if he has a valid driver's license, what he's driving around in, what's going on. Now, here's the DC records. I didn't know if she had posted this publicly, so I was reading it off screen before. This is, hello, Miss Fields. No documents have been filed into the case as of that hearing, talking about his arraignment on 7/18/2025. You can view the events of that case by going to this whatever. So as of right now, absolutely no update, which is quite odd. It's very odd. People saying Carmelo Anthony's supporters are demanding refunds that their family requested $1.4 million more donations. I've seen no evidence of that. But people still using this. White folks have already raised $33,000 for him, over double his goal, saying, obviously bringing up, the Carmelo. But here's another interesting thing. I went and looked at Carmelo Anthony's Give, Send, Go. And again, there still has not been an update in a month. And there's only been 2 updates entirely. And the donations have completely dried up. $35 yesterday. Now, the day before, there was 105. The day before that was 60. Let's call it almost 100. The donations have pretty much dried up for Carmelo Anthony. So, he's going to have about $550,000. Sources say that he just paid a $100,000 retainer for a high-profile lawyer, which is exactly how I'd spend the money, too. I wouldn't be spending it on houses and cars and video games like many people allege they did. I'd be spending every penny on the best legal team imaginable. This is going to be something we want to watch if they end up releasing these documents, because why didn't they release them yet? Why haven't, did he not enter a plea? Is the state working on letting him off on a lesser charge? What's going on here? In my experience covering court cases, they're pretty reliable in terms of releasing documents on a good schedule. They may come out later today. I don't know. If they do, I will absolutely get a video out for you about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Something fishy going on here. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you haven't yet. Subscribe or follow so you never miss a video, and we'll talk to you again.